Good morning, everyone. I am so glad that you're here today. Um, Glad you're here. The topic today is crayons. And welcome back to another episode of the Scavenger Palette, where we explore creativity through everyday art supplies, inspiration from nature, and creative conversations that encourage us to see art in a whole new way. Now I got an itchy nose. So grab your favorite cup of coffee or tea or drink, whatever you have. Have a sketch pad. Actually, we're going to be using watercolor paper today, and get comfortable. And we're going to get started. Before I do move on, if you love these episodes, please click the link in the description to get this newsletter, because it's going to have the recap of today. It's also going to show my finished art piece, because I'm not going to have it finished while I'm doing the show, but it will have my finished art piece, and and have inspirational quotes, and updates of what's happening. So before I begin talking about crayons, let me know where you're from. Let me know where you're joining in from. And I hope everyone is staying cool, because I know we're having a heat wave this week. And so I hope everyone is staying cool. I'd also love to know, when was the last time you used a crayon? When was the last time you picked up a crayon? Was it with your children? Was it with your grandchildren? Maybe in a coloring book, an adult coloring book? Or perhaps it's been years. But let me know in the comment. I would love to hear your story. And let's get the conversation going. Just a second. Technical difficulties as usual. You hit something on the tablet and everything goes whew. All right, I'm back. So let's talk about crayons. Rediscovering one of the world's most creative art supplies. When most people hear the word crayons, they immediately think of childhood. Probably put a big smile on their face on that. Maybe you remember opening up a brand new box of crayons on the first day of school. Or perhaps you remember spending rainy afternoons coloring with the family. But today, I'd like to show you that crayons are much more than a childhood memory. They're inexpensive, versatile art supply that artists of all ages can enjoy. And let me tell you a little history about crayons. Did you know that crayons have been around for well over 100 years? I didn't even realize that. Long before crayons we know today, artists experimented with colored wax sticks made from natural pigments and wax. While these early versions worked, they were expensive and not widely available. Everything changed in 1903 when Crayon introduced its famous box of 8 crayons. That little box sold for only 5 cents, making art supplies affordable for families across America. Those original 8 colors were red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet, brown, and black. Can you imagine creating an entire masterpiece with only 8 colors? I'm curious. What was your favorite crayon color growing up? What was your favorite color that you used all the time? Couldn't get enough of? I think we all had that one color we used until it was just a tiny little stub. Let me know what yours is in the comments. Love to hear it. Today we have hundreds of colors, including metallic crayons, glitter crayons, watercolor crayons, and many specialty varieties. I always enjoy learning little pieces of history like this because it reminds me how something so simple became a part of millions of people's creative journeys. Now, this is more than children's art supplies. One thing I've learned as an artist is that we sometimes overlook simple art supplies because we associate them with childhood. But crayons can do amazing things. They can be layered. They create wonderful textures. They work beautifully with mixed media. And today I'm going to show you one of my newest discoveries. Oh my God, I couldn't believe this one when I found this one out. One of the techniques we'll explore today is called watercolor resist. Don't worry if you've never heard of this, because I didn't. And I'll show you exactly how it works in just a few minutes. But first, what I do want to show you is that I did buy a 64 crayon. So I have these, and I've had these kicking around for a number of years. And I even bought, these are the twistables. These twist up and down. I bought these when my kids were young. I have another twistable colors. Oh, these are the ones I bought when my kids were young. These are the ones I bought when I took care of my dad. So there are many different ones. And this one is really cool. This is like a pencil crayon. It's very, very thin on top. It's almost like drawing with a pencil. So there are many different types out there, as I said, and there are glitter, there are metallic. I've even seen that in the Family Dollar General Store. I've seen them in there. So that is a nice place to go too. So right now, what we're going to do is I'm going to take a couple of crayons and I'm going to show you some layering techniques. So I'm going to stand up in a minute and show you. I'm going to pull out, I think I'm going to pull out, I'm just pulling out random colors, so it doesn't mean anything at this moment. And this is something you can do yourself. Just take some random colors and do it yourself. Oh, actually, I'm going to use these that I already picked out. Okay, so I've got my easel behind me. Pull this right up. So I hope you can see this. So you're not going to see me fully, but I hope you can see this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start with spring green, and I'm going to do some layering. I'm going to just do something. It doesn't have to be anything. And I am using, before I begin too, I am using watercolor paper. And this watercolor paper is, I got this on Amazon, and I'll have that in the link. I'll have that as a link to Amazon. When you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get the link. So you won't have to go searching all over Amazon for this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing some colors. Doesn't have to be anything major. It's just going to be, and of course it's so light you can't see, but that's okay. You'll see something in a minute. So I'm doing that. Now I'm going to take a dark green and I'm going to go right on top of it. So it's going to change it a little bit. So and then I'm going to take some red and I'm going to go the red on top of that. I'm going to go another direction, make it a little funky. And I hope you notice that it's changing colors. It's starting to change a color. And I'm going to pull out a purple. So you know when you're doing art and when you're doing layering with crayons, you can easily layer. You don't, because they're waxy, and being waxy, it will connect. It's a little tough on watercolor only because watercolor is kind of bumpy, but it can be done. Because if you're going to do this watercolor resistant, you do need the watercolor paper. But if you're not using watercolor at all or any kind of liquid, you can use regular drawing paper. And then the colors will come up a little bit more. So the next technique we're going to do is we're going to do the watercolor. Now, this is a fun part, and I must admit, when I recently learned this myself, I never realized that crayons, it just didn't dawn on me that crayons are made from wax. They naturally resist the watercolor paint. It didn't dawn on me. Being an artist for many years, it didn't dawn on me. So I'm going to show you exactly how this works. Now I'm going to have to get my watercolors. So I'm going to spray my watercolors. Just spray a few colors. Probably going to wind up doing abstract art. And I usually take the spray bottle and spray on my watercolors, and that's exactly what I did. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some different colors, and I'm going to just draw squiggly lines. It doesn't have to be anything major, and you're not going to see it right away. So with the lighter colors, you're not going to see them right away. So I'm going to do this, okay? Here we go with the yellow. So I'm going to just do and all I'm doing is scribbling. I'm not doing anything major. I'm just scribbling. And I'm going to take a blue. And I'm going to do another scribble. And another thing too is because I'm demonstrating, I am on the easel. Normally when I do stuff like this with watercolor, I don't use the easel. I just mainly use the table. So the pressure, your hand pressure is going to be different on the table versus on an easel. And what I'll do is I'll do two different ones. I'll do one later on the table and show you the difference from the one from the easel to the table. So you'll have an idea of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to use white now. And I'm going to go right in here. Okay, so these are the three colors I'm using. So now I'm going to take my watercolor. I'm going to move that down here so I can. All right. So I have my paintbrush already. So I'm just using a big paintbrush. It's nothing major, anything you have. It doesn't matter what you have. You can even use one of these. Let me see if I can reach it out, get one fast. You can even use one of these too. So, and I've used these a lot. So you can easily use one of these as well. So I'm going to go right into the orange. Now, the one thing with watercolors too, it takes a little bit to dry. So once it dries, everything is going to show up better. But already I can see the color underneath it. That's really cool. So far I can see the color underneath it. You may not be able to see it that well, but again, I will show it in the newsletter. But it's just kind of giving you an idea. And I'm going to do a little bit of red. Oh, looks more like cranberry. And you may be able to see it now with the cranberry. This is showing up really well. The yellow underneath. Now, do you see the layering that we did earlier? You see how that hasn't even moved? That is just staying put. And I'm just gliding the watercolor right over it. And see, it's staying the same. Isn't that freaking cool? Oh my God, this is so cool. What a cool technique. I'm loving this. And I hope you try this because it's really fun. I'm just using different colors and I'm not even caring what I'm doing. I'm just using different colors. And I know once the watercolors dry, the crayons are going to come right through really nicely. It takes a little bit for it to dry. And as I'm layering over colors too, the colors in the watercolor are changing. So you're getting a different color. Now, what you can always do too is you can always draw a picture using a crayon. It doesn't have to be a dark crayon, but you can use a light crayon. You can use a yellow. You can use a white. You can use a green, blue, any of the lighter colors, and you can draw a picture and then do your different colors on top of it and watch the picture shine through once the watercolor dries. And you can do this technique with Zentangle. You can do this technique with you can do Zentangle underneath with a crayon, a Zentangle pattern, and then do the watercolor on top of it. So I'm going to do a few more. I'm going to get some yellow in there. And this is very relaxing too. When I have stress days, this is something I love to do right on the side, just to so I'm going to leave that there, see if it'll dry down a little bit more so you can see some of the colors. But even if you don't, that's okay. Again, I'm going to take a picture of it and you'll get a closer look at what it looks like. So you might, but with that layering that I did, you do see what that looks like. And it's really, really neat. And so I encourage you all to try it. I really do. And do it with your kids, do it with your grandchildren. I mean, teach them something new because I think that this would be a fantastic vacation time project. And just kind of take your watercolors. You don't need, with watercolors, you can pick up watercolors. I know that the Family General Store sells watercolors. And so you can pick them up there. Or I know they sell acrylic, but acrylic paint will not work with this because acrylic paint's a little bit darker in texture. But watercolors will because watercolors kind of fade in. So they just, they fade in as they dry. So, and then anything you have on the bottom will shine right through. It's almost like transparency, which is really fabulous. As an artist, it's very fabulous. Um, but you can also pick it up at your favorite art stores, and you can pick it up on Amazon. But again, I'll have links to watercolors, I'll have links to crayons, I'll have links to all of that in my newsletter. So you won't have to go trying to figure out where to go to get all this stuff. I'll have it all set up for you. Another fun idea you can do too is another fun idea, and I'm going to do another video on this, is you can take a white crayon, just a white crayon, and write a secret message and draw snowflakes before painting. So you put a secret message. You don't need to do snowflakes, but it's just an idea. But you can write a secret message. Just use a white one or a yellow and just write a secret message and then put your watercolor on top of it. And I'm going to do an episode on that because I really think that would be a cool episode. So I'll do another one for that one if you're not sure how to do it. When you brush watercolor over the page, the hidden design magically appears. And that's exactly what's happening here. All the blue that I have and some of the yellow and some of the white is coming through. So it's really, really neat. Again, it's hard when I'm standing up doing this because it's different from standing up to sitting down and doing it because my pressure of the crayon will be a little harder when I'm sitting down. So there's a little difference. It's amazing how something so simple can create such beautiful effects. And it's fun. I mean, it's really fun. I'm learning so much as I've been doing the Scavenger Palette, series. I am learning things along with you. So I'm not an expert at this. I am on some things, but not on everything. So I'm learning just as much as you're learning, and I'm having a blast. So I hope you guys are going to have a blast too. And if you've never done this before or never heard of it before, try it. I would want to hear what you think about it. Was it cool for you? Was it cool to do it with your kids? Was it cool to do it with your grandchildren? I want to hear this. And one of the things I love most about art is that we never stop learning. We don't. And I'm proof on this because this is something I've just learned this week. Now, because I've been creating art for many years and I still discover techniques that make me excited to sit down and create. That's one of the reasons, again, that I created the Scavenger Palette from pantry to nature, because I want to bring the basics back. I want to explore what we have out in nature, what we have in our own homes. And creativity doesn't have to begin with expensive art supplies. A simple box of crayons can be the beginning of a lifelong artistic journey. And whether you're coloring with your grandchildren, experimenting with mixed media, or adding texture to an art journal, crayons still have a place in every artist's toolbox. What's the one art supplies you've had tucked away in a drawer that you haven't used in years? I'd like to hear about that, because if you're not sure how to use it, let me know in the comments. I'll explore it and I'll do a segment on it. How's that sound? And I have some fun facts too. Before we finish here, here are some few fun facts. A single crayon can draw a line roughly 1 to 2 miles long. Millions of crayons are produced every day. Broken crayons still work beautifully and often create interesting textures. Sometimes the simplest supplies become the most creative. Now, my creative challenge for you this week is pull out a box of crayons, even if it's been years since you've used them. Try layering 2 or 3 colors. Experiment with watercolor resist. And most importantly, don't worry about creating a masterpiece. This is not a masterpiece. This is kind of cool, though, actually. This is cool. This is just out of the box. But, this is mixed media. This is cool art. So don't worry about creating a masterpiece. Simply enjoy Rediscovering, one of the world's most creative art supplies. And if you decide to give this a try, come back. Let me know how it went. Did you enjoy layering the colors? Did the watercolor resist surprise you? I always enjoy hearing about your creative discoveries. So please let me know in the comments. Let's get this conversation going here. And I have something else new in the works. From the Scavenger sketchbook, it's going to be a welcome. This is where I will share a few behind the scenes thoughts from my studio each week. This week, I've been making progress on an upcoming course that I'm working on. And I'm really excited about how it's coming together. I won't give away too many details yet. I want to save the few surprises because I'm doing a launch in July. I'm going to be launching the membership to my website where you will be able to get access to my courses. But if you'd like to follow along as I build it, I'll continue sharing these little updates each week in my newsletter. I hope today's conversation inspired you to take another look at crayons. Maybe you already have a box tucked away in a drawer. Why not pull them out this week and experiment? Art isn't about perfection. It's about curiosity. It's about exploration. And it's about enjoying the creative process. As always, I won't be finishing today's artwork during the podcast. This is kind of finished, but I might add a little bit more color to it. You never know. Might add a little bit more. You never know. I'll take my time and enjoy the creative process. I'll finish it after we're done here. And I'll share a photo of my completed artwork in this week's Scavenger Palette Newsletter. You'll also receive a recap of today's episode. You'll also hear tidbits from the Scavenger sketchbook, behind the scenes, creative inspiration, art prompts, inspirational quotes, and supply recommendations. Updates on upcoming podcasts, videos, and creative projects, including my upcoming courses. If you'd like to continue today's creative journey, I'd love for you to join me. The link is in the description below. And thank you so much for spending your time, your morning with me. Until next time, keep creating, keep exploring, and remember, create where creativity unfolds naturally. And as you're doing art, it unfolds naturally. And you'll surprise yourself every time you do art. So I want you to have a great morning, a great day, and a great evening wherever you are in the world. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye now.